Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, I'd like to discuss yesterday's mad revelations at the COVID inquiry as this week just gets more insane. In the latest rounds of hearings, it was revealed that Boris Johnson had to be told that not everyone actually lives in a mansion, and also that you can't cure COVID with a hairdryer. I kid you not. This is final proof that Johnson is provably an idiot. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel. So, where to start? The theme of this latest COVID inquiry update is essentially how Boris Johnson was not just lacking in sufficient scientific understanding to hold serious conversations with experts, but he seemed to lack the understanding of a moderately able 12-year-old. In the hearing yesterday, it was revealed that Boris Johnson asked an earnest question of his top scientific advisors. Can you cure COVID by aiming a hairdryer up your nose and turning it on? Took me some time to even process this revelation. I had long ago come to the realization that Boris Johnson was so conceited that he thought he could ignore scientific advice. There are plenty of people in society like that. It's generally helpful if we don't vote them into positions of major power. But the risk was always there. But I'm not sure that even the thickest pub braggart would seriously think you could use a hairdryer to cure COVID. I mean, if it were the case, why wouldn't the whole world have done that and solved the problem almost overnight? So apparently Johnson asked this question because he saw the claim on a YouTube video. He'd done his own research, it seems. And this is the point where I have to once again explain that Johnson's not a smart man. I keep saying Johnson's actually not clever. And people keep insisting, although, yes, he has a lot of personality flaws, which means that makes him very unsuitable to lead. His incredible narcissistic delusions means, you know, he's not seeing the world as it really is, so he can't put his intelligence to good use, but he is nonetheless quite clever. No, he isn't. A clever person would not for 1 second ask this question of their top scientists. Like, what did he expect them to say? He's gone along asking the question, so he obviously thought a possible response was yes. But how did he think that would work? Well, yes, Prime Minister, you can cure COVID with a blast of hot air up the hooter. We just haven't been recommending it because we thought it would be a laugh to see how high the death toll can rise before we revealed to the world that we can sort this whole thing out with a quick call to Remington. Boris Johnson is an idiot, right? He was always an idiot. He remained an idiot. He's an idiot still today. If he hadn't been born into such wealth and privilege, he'd be in villages dancing for pork pies to keep him going. The fact that this suggestion regarding hairdryers, you know, it's not as stupid as thinking, oh, inject bleach might do the trick. That doesn't matter. Donald Trump is not the bar for ranking the intelligence of political leaders. I mean, who out there is going to admit in the comments that their own teenage child would seriously think that using a hairdryer could cure a serious disease? He was the Prime Minister. He was the one making the decisions. He made the decisions about who made the decisions as well. He is, of course, being roundly ridiculed for this. I don't think ridiculed enough, and I will tell you why. It's not just the fact that he thought you might be able to cure COVID with a hairdryer. Let's say you've got someone who's sort of clever but has zero understanding of science. They somehow grew up in an environment where they had zero scientific education, but they were nonetheless clever and they learned how to, like, quote Greek passages or something. You know, if you were clever, you'd still not ask this question. I'll tell you why. For him to have asked the question, he needed to think that it was possible for all the relevant top scientists in the world to be unaware of this brilliant cure, but some guy on YouTube has figured it out. That is a level of stupidity that I would never have even ascribed to former ministers such as Chris Grayling, Ian Duncan Smith or Nadine Dorries. And if the hairdryer revelation wasn't enough, it also had to be explained to him how people don't live in like manor houses as well, or indeed houses at all. Because when it came to relaxing the rules, all the talk was, okay, so how can we get people to visit each other while still staying safe? Well, it's, well, you stay outside, of course. The ventilation, yes, that works, yes, yeah. So they can meet in the garden then. It's like, Prime Minister, what if they need a piss? Well, they just use the outdoor toilet. Well, no, like, not many people have an outdoor toilet, Prime Minister. In fact, lots of people don't have an outdoor anything. They live in a flat, you see. They won't even have a back garden. And Many of those who do, like if they live in a terrace, now there's some people live in a terrace with a back garden and there's a gate onto like the snicket behind it. But for many of them, there won't actually be a means of getting to the garden without going through the house, which of course defeats the purpose of meeting the garden in the first place. So, like not everyone's got a back garden. Not everyone's got a gate from the back garden or some way of accessing it from a public footpath. And they don't have outdoor toilets. And it's like they'd never even thought about these things. It was like a revelation to them. Oh my goodness, the way people live is quite extraordinary. And this seems to have come, as I say, a revelation to this village idiot that we put in charge of the country. We often describe Rishi Sunak as being badly out of touch with ordinary people. And that's because he is out of touch, but he's also really bad at faking that connection. This was not really a fruitful criticism of Johnson, because he somehow managed to convince ordinary people that he understood their lives. Even if they sort of got that, okay, he's rich and he's come from this background, he understands us. Like, no, he didn't even understand how you take a piss. In many ways, it's just possible that Sunak might be more in touch than Johnson. He's just less able as a confidence trickster. And as for Johnson's general intellectual rigour, we were also told that in autumn 2020, the Prime Minister was so bored of COVID, the novelty's worn off, I want it to end now, that he asked advisers to come up with a way of dead catting it to make the media lose interest. Now, this came from Dominic Cummings, so take it with a pinch of salt, but we can say two things without relying on the witness statement of Dominic Cummings. First, we know that Johnson was never interested in dealing with the pandemic. He was only interested in Brexit. He initially refused to attend Cobra meetings, spent almost all of his time on other things. Whether, like I say, it was arranging the divorce to divorce the wife who'd been diagnosed with cancer, mucking about with his slightly better than no deal Brexit deal. Second, we know that Johnson did want to steer the media away from interest in COVID because he finally achieved it. By halfway through 2021, it was like COVID didn't even exist in the minds of most people. The media weren't interested in reporting on it. The government convinced the general population that never mind being like flu, it was somehow less serious than flu. When I was teaching, like in normal days, you wouldn't let a student come to school or college with the flu. Well, you've got the flu, go home. But under Johnson, a child with COVID was expected to attend. Now, Boris Johnson is very obviously, provably, a political gobshite of very little brain. I defy anyone to be paying attention to what's coming out of this evidence this week and tell me, actually, no, he is clever, he's just got all these personality flaws. No, he's not clever. He's actually very, 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 very stupid. And I get how that's uncomfortable for people. And I get the motivation for people to go, oh, no, he is clever, really. And it's because people supported him. Tory MPs supported him to become leader. So it's difficult for them to say, oh, yeah, we voted for this complete idiot. People voted for him. People in the media supported him. I get that it's uncomfortable for them to have to admit that they supported this person who is an idiot. But he is. He is, really. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.